Welcome to Kristal's Beautiful Chaos. I have a craft video for you guys today. So the first one we're starting with here is going to be all Dollar Tree products used. These are two of the laundry room signs that you can get from Dollar Tree that have 3 clothespins along the bottom. I just ripped off the clothespins, put them aside, and ripped off the paper front as well. And then I went over with these boards front, back, and sides with approximately 3 coats of the white Waverly chalk paint. Then I'm using 3 trays also from the Dollar Tree, and I had stained them with that Rust-Oleum Golden Oak stain that I used in the previous DIY video I had posted. And I am using a combination of Dollar Tree wood glue and hot glue to attach these to those ironing board like signs that we painted white. So I put the bottom one on first, and then I'm going to take the other two and set them up to see where I think I want them, and then I will use a pencil to mark where the bottom of them should land, and then I am going to secure those there as well with the wood glue and hot glue combination. As I always say, wood glue for permanent hold, hot glue for instant hold. And then I will glue the other laundry sign to the other side of these trays, and then I do end up going back. Well, you guys will see there'll be an arrow pointing, and I'll talk about it. If you guys hear like a airy noise in the background, I apologize. I'm upstairs in my room and with the window air on because it is too darn hot to be sitting up here without it. So after I let the glue set up and dry, I ended up going over back the sides and screwing in where you've seen that arrow pointing the signs to the trays just for extra stability because I didn't trust it just to be glued. Now I'm just taking these Dollar Tree Main Street decals I've had in my stash for over a year now. They're like gold leaves, and I am going to decorate the sides of this little shelving unit, I guess we'll call it. And then I'm going to make sure that they overlap a little bit onto the wood trays as well, just to give it some oomph, a little more, detail or whatnot. Now, I did try using the box cutter, but then I ended up grabbing the X-Acto knife just to cut where that needed to be sliced to overlap, because otherwise you would have just seen a clear sticker through. I hope that makes sense. So I just trimmed down where it needed to be trimmed down for it to be able to fold over where I wanted it to fold over. So I just did this on, I would like go back and forth between both sides of this little tiered tray thing, or whatever, shelving unit, whatever we're calling it, until I got everything on there the way I liked it. Now this particular strip of decals only comes with 3 of those golden leaf vine things, so I ended up using the last one and I cut it in half so that way I had more to use on the sides of this. Any little pieces of the leaves I had cut off from other areas, I just used to embellish the fronts of the little trays, just so you could see that as well. Now you see me going over those decals with my heat gun on a low setting, just because I wanted to make sure that that stuff was really stuck onto that, and the heat gun will actually make that tackiness on the back of those decals a little stickier and make everything secure down to the surface it's stuck on a little bit stronger or better. And here this is staged in the kitchen just for pictures. I just decorated it with some, fake succulents I had on hand and other little knickknacks from Dollar Tree. And here we are moving into the next one. I just had this wood round. This is from actually Amazon, but you can get these same wood rounds nowadays from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to stain this using the Waverly Antique Wax. First I used a damp paper towel, but it was taking too long, so you see me going over this eventually with a damp paintbrush that I will dip into the Waverly Antique Wax, and then I will go back over it with my paper towel just to get the excess off, because I didn't want this super dark. Now that that antique wax is all dry, I am going to use this other Main Street decal from Dollar Tree to zhuzh this up a little bit. So I'm just going to place the back of the wood on the back of the decal and trace around it, and then I'm going to cut it out. That way, oh, sorry, my phone is buzzing with a text. That was Peyton texting me. Anyhow, I'm just going to cut out that half a circle, it looks like, and I'm going to peel off that decal, and I am going to adhere it to this wood piece in the area that I think I'll like it best. I'm just sanding down the little bit that's overhanging, just so that way it gets a clean cut on there. That way I don't have to fuss with it much more. And then I'll use like 2 little pieces of the greenery, or 1 piece of the greenery and a little flower on the opposite side of all of this, just to give it a little bit more. But I'm going to glue this to the plastic black cake riser I have from Walmart, I believe. It was like $1.74. This was a long while ago I hauled that. So I'm just going to hot glue it to the top of it just to break up all the black. And here's that little cake stand or riser. Now I just have little candles and knickknacks on there that I had around the house. On to the next craft. I am using these toilet paper / towel holders from Dollar Tree. They're like very boho macrame little things. I am going to use a baby wipe and the antique wax to give the rods of this. Sorry about the phone ringing, y'all. Peyton was calling me now. Anyhow, I am faux staining these with baby wipe and antique wax by Waverly. I'm going to do this to both rods and both of the wooden rings that are used to hang this up with. While those pieces are drying, I am taking these 2 candle snuffers, also from the Dollar Tree, and I am ripping off the little cup parts. Now, this craft was inspired by Liz Fenwick. She had done something similar to this, so I figured I would put my own spin on it. Anyhow, so once I got those off of the rod, I am going to take the wooden rods that I pulled out of their eyeball halfway, mark it with a pencil, and I'm using my drill with a drill bit of 9/64 to make a hole in the center of this wooden rod. And then I am going to use clear Gorilla Glue, and I am going to glue the cup of that candle snuffer into that hole that I'm drilling. That way it has a permanent hold on there. As you could see, I was too lazy to go find the rubber mallet out of the craft room, hence the reason why I'm using the scissors in the bottom of the drill to pound that candle snuffer cup upside down into that hole I created with the drill. Oh, the things us crafters do when we don't want to get back up again. Once I had those snuffer cups in there, I let those sit for about an hour to dry, and then I came back to, or at least to start curing. And then I used these air plants that I got from Dollar Tree. I just rip them out of those pots, cut the bottom stem off, and I'm just using quite a bit of hot glue in the base of that cup to hold that air plant. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other wooden dowel as well. I just use my pliers to hold that upright, that way it didn't start rolling around everywhere. Now I'm putting these wooden rods back into the holes on that macrame cord they came on, and there it is with just that on it. Now I did have 2 butterfly picks to the side that I had picked up from Walmart for 75 cents a piece, and so I wanted these to hang in my dining room because that's where I do majority of my filming at for my hauls and that. And I am going to adhere the butterflies from those butterfly picks onto these. One's yellow, one's purple, and it's just to come, to keep Miss Frugal J in mind and always show support for her and her family in this time of need. And I wanted to do something that way I didn't have to keep putting those blue text butterflies in my background. So all I did to get those butterflies on there was I cut the piece of stem off that the butterfly was on. I slid it through some of that cording that was knotted, and then I cut down the long piece of stem in the back, and then I hot glued over it. That way it didn't just fall out. And then I hang these on the wall. If you can see, Marcus is over to the left of me messing with stuff while I do this. I can never get any peace and quiet in this house anymore. So the glue's all set up, and here are those 2 little macrame hangers hanging up on the dining room wall, and I typically sit in front of this wall when I do my haul videos, so I figured that was the perfect place for them. And we'll do one more look back at all of the crafts I did. So here is the little shelving unit. I do want to thank you all so much for spending time with me watching this video. I appreciate you all so much and love you all. So please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Comment below with which one of these crafts was your favorite in this video. And I will talk to you all soon. I love you all so much.